This is Turn Up Bear Down, and I'm here with my co-host Matt Jansen, and this is Scott Blakely speaking. Today on Turn Up Bear Down, we're going to talk about the Bears and the Chiefs preseason game. Kicks off at Saturday at noon, and it'll be a fun one on NFL Network. So, yeah, we're excited, especially living in the Kansas City area. We have a lot of people who will be tuning in to see this one to watch their Chiefs. And it'll be fun to see what both teams have to offer going into this season. So, what are your general thoughts on tomorrow? The fact that there's a game being played by the Bears.
Yeah, and since we're in that market, hopefully we get to watch it. Preseason games aren't highly advertised or out there to watch. You kind of get one a day on NFL Network or whatever. But it'll be good to just get on the local channels, get my old satellite antenna out, and then check out some CBS Chiefs Bears.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's nice out. Get some meat on the grill. Get a cold soda pop and enjoy some Chiefs Bears football.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great thing to do because I think weather report's going to be like 97 degrees here. It's going to be really hot in the Kansas City area. So stay inside. It's been 3 hours watching subpar football. It is going to be broadcast on NBC. I think I saw that advertised the other day. So for those of you looking to tune in and you can't get NFL Network, it should be on 41 Action News. So let's talk about some players to watch. And it's a preseason game, so literally there's more players to watch than any other game. But for us, I put Fields. It'll be interesting to see. He's going to get 15 to 20 plays, the first team offense. Braxton Jones, the fifth-round pick, what will he be like on the offensive line? His first real test. And then I'm excited to see Gordon and Brisker. I'm assuming they're starting and just to see what they can do against the most explosive offense probably in the NFL. And then from the Chiefs side, we got Sky Moore, the rookie. Trent McDuffie, also a rookie cornerback. We'll see how he plays. And then another rookie, George Karlaftis. So the Chiefs are pretty loaded as far as returning players that people have seen play. But I think there's a lot to offer for these three players. I actually did happen to go to Chiefs training camp this year. Got to see some of these guys in action. But I know they're really excited for Sky Moore. As well as the other two rookies here, and hopefully that solidifies a few positions that they lost key veterans in. So, what are you thinking about any other players to watch? Any guy on here you like?
Yeah, I'm looking at let's see, Juju. I know he's probably going to play sparingly if he
Right.
does.
Right.
Just kind of what kind of chemistry, just on the first couple series with Pat and that Chiefs offense. The Kansas City running backs not named Clyde, McKinnon, or help me, who's another running back that they have? It's not Derek Gore. They drafted a few guys.
The
They brought in a
guy,
few.
is it Ronald Jones or is it?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Ronald Jones,
from Tampa
Tom
Bay. He was their
Tom
starter a
Brady's
couple years
nephew.
ago.
Yeah, he's in from Tampa Bay,
Yep.
and
There's
so
a
those
Pacheco or
guys.
something. I'm probably
Yeah, there's
pronounced
just a
that wrong.
couple guys that aren't established NFL players right now. So it's kind of I know a lot of people, at least talking with some Chiefs fans, a lot of people are kind of out on Clyde. They don't really believe that he's their guy.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
know a lot of people kicked themselves when they passed up J.K. Dobbins and they passed up Jonathan Taylor to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you can just imagine that Chiefs offense with either one of those guys besides Clyde, especially if you put Jonathan Taylor on that offense. Another two guys on defense, Justin Reed, who was a safety.
Yeah.
I think he played with the Texans recently. Just kind of what's he look like? I think that's an upgrade for them at safety over Dirty Dan the Trash Man. And the last one, and it's kind of close to home for you and I, Elijah Lee, who actually graduated from high school where we both taught at that institution. So honestly, it's more of seeing him play, and I know he's just projected as a starter, so he probably won't be in there for too much. But
Yeah, no, it'll be fun to see all of those guys you mentioned in action. Another guy that I forgot about until I was at camp the other day, and I had to ask my cousin, and I had to check like the program to see who it was. But Josh Gordon's still with the Chiefs, so there's going to be a lot as far as like
surprised there. I
which
didn't even know. I didn't
yeah,
even know he was there or alive. So
yeah.
uh, you don't have Velus Jones on here,
No, I don't, but I want to
and I
see him
think
play for sure.
yeah, we want to see what he's got. We want to see if he's got some juice in those legs. I know
Hmm.
we already compared him to Debo, or I did. So, and then you have Braxton Jones. To me, it's also the other young offensive lineman that we have.
Right.
Just kind of see what we have on the farm there, because again, that's one of the biggest differences I think in winning and losing is in the trenches and with your line and staying healthy. And if you notice the years that the few and far between years that we've had lines that have played together the whole year. They've been healthy relatively. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, those are just some guys I'm looking at on the Bears side.
Yeah. I'm excited again. I think a big thing for us, it's speaking to Kansas City audience, it's like going to a Royals game right now. Like you never know who's going to come up and bat. Like some guy you've never even heard of. They have all these rookies. They traded Merrifield. They traded Benintendi. Anybody that you've kind of got to know a little bit. And so the Bears are kind of in that realm as well, where we're going to see a lot of new faces, and we haven't seen these guys play a down for our team yet. So it'll be nice to see that tomorrow. And I'm just really excited to see what some of these guys can do. Another big name that some people at Bears camp have been talking about is Tristan Ebner. He was actually, gosh, was it a fifth round pick? But he went to Baylor and he was a running back out of Baylor, and people are kind of excited for him. Probably see a lot of him and Khalil Herbert tomorrow because David Montgomery is not going to play in this game. Neither is Cole Kmet, and we don't have Jimmy Graham. So you're going to see some other tight ends tomorrow that you haven't seen much for the Bears as well. So yeah, it will be fun. Let's talk about some specific predictions. So I have three on here, or I guess I really have two, and then we have another one, and feel free to ask any. But I think Justin Fields is going to get a touchdown in this game. I don't know how exactly it's going to happen, but I'm thinking and I'm hoping that he has a touchdown. I'm thinking Gibson is going to get a sack. Who's he sacking? Maybe not Patrick Mahomes, but he will get a sack at some point in this game if he plays the 15 to 20 plays. I'm just going to go for that. And then you said over and under. So what do you have for me?
All right, so we got a little over under section. The first section is going to be 4 Chiefs players that I want you to tell me over or under on a certain number that I'm going to give you for production. Okay.
Okay.
So the first player is Patrick Mahomes, over or under 33 touchdowns this year.
Oh, this is for the season. I like that. That's better
Season
than
over under. Season over under.
33.
33 touchdowns.
There's 17 games. That's not even two per game. He's definitely going to have over 33 touchdowns.
Okay. What about Clyde Edwards-Helaire? 6 touchdowns.
I'm gonna take the under. Here's why. One is the Chiefs are not as high. At least the fans are not as high on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and also they have so many other guys that can work into that system. So I feel like somebody else is gonna make a move in their running back core.
Okay.
Maybe it's
How about?
Jones.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, like I said, McKinnon and Jones, I think, have all different skill sets that Andy Reid likes to use. How about Juju? 90 catches on the year.
90 catches for Juju. No, you have Travis Kelsey. You have McCole Hardman. You still have Josh Gordon unless he gets cut. But you got too many other weapons. Mahomes is going to spread the ball around a little bit more. Obviously, they're going to be replacing Tyreek, but I just think some of these other guys are going to make more plays. I think Juju will get more around like 60 to 70 catches on the year.
Let me give you Juju's best year. Actually, his best 2.
Also, he's probably going to
First,
get hurt.
first, his best year was in 2018 with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
111 catches for 1,400 yards and
No
7 touchdowns.
way. That's wild.
With a stat view of a therapist. Let me just, because we're going PG, a therapist, Ben Roethlisberger. So
Yeah.
think about those stats with Ben versus with Pat. That's why I'm going to go over with Juju on 90. And how about the last one, Travis Kelsey, 12 touchdowns this year.
I think
Over
he's going to be under. I'll even go as far as say he's going to have like 11. The
Uh,
problem with what?
yeah, you're good. You're good. I went a little high on this number. His career high is 11, which he had in 2020.
Yep.
9 last year. But he's eclipsed 1,000 yards the last 6 seasons. Yeah, last 6 seasons he's eclipsed 1,000 yards. So it's impressive, man.
When they get in
He might be
the
one of
yeah.
the best tight ends of all time, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And the thing again with the Chiefs is they have so many different weapons, so many different guys like how are these guys going to get all there's not going to be enough to go around, right? I'm surprised on that Juju stat though, but I kind of feel like that might have been when Pittsburgh was in between like all these different receivers. I don't know if Deontay Johnson was there yet. Claypool wasn't there yet, probably. And as those guys kind of started to emerge, he probably went much less in the catching department. Also, he got hurt a lot. I feel like because I think I might have had him on my fantasy team a few times.
Trying to see when was the last year. I'm looking right now. Actually, excuse me. I'm gonna have Rashi look, but the last time, yeah, Antonio Brown was in Pittsburgh that year. So Antonio Brown had
Mm.
104 catches for 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns. So that was the same year. That was the year that Big Ben went crazy, right? That's probably the last uber productive year of
What? Yeah.
Roethlisberger's
What
career,
did
right?
they? I think I had him on my fantasy team. That was the year when he was throwing like 6 touchdown games, like
Yeah,
multiple six
Antonio Brown had
touchdown
15,
games.
15 tutties that year.
Wow, that's
So yeah,
insane.
two receivers over 100 catches and over 1,100 yards. Um,
Can you
so
think
yeah,
of
I
a?
mean, it's certainly doable.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could say he's injury prone, but yeah, he has been nicked up recently. But hey, let's switch sides. Let's go over to the Bears
Okay.
because really that's all we care about, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Chiefs
Let's
fans.
put Justin Fields over or under 24 touchdowns, and I'm gonna say total because he's not gonna run that much. If he gets any kind of running touchdowns, it'll be minimal. What do you think? 24 total touchdowns this year?
You know he had seven passing touchdowns last year, and maybe like 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns. So he only had like 13 last year. He didn't play a lot though. He didn't. Well, there were a few games he didn't play there because Nick Foles played a few, Andy Dalton played a few, and because Fields got hurt because we don't have an offensive line. If he plays all 17 games this year, all 17 games, I think he gets to 24, and maybe 3 or 4 on the ground, and I'm gonna say he throws 20 touchdowns this year. And
Okay.
this is optimistic, but at the same time, like I feel like that's
20
kind of
touchdowns in today's NFL is nothing.
yeah, that's
20
pretty average. That's
not
pretty
even
average. And
better
people
than
are
the
saying
Pro
he's
Bowl.
yeah, people are saying he's actually looking really good at camp, and you can't read too much into that, but I'll
He
take I'll
will.
take the idea that he's gonna be better. So
How about David Montgomery? 7 rushing touchdowns. 7 rushing touchdowns on the year this year. David Montgomery.
well, I feel like this is gonna change for him for the good. So how many did he have last year? Do you know?
Raji, can you check how many Montgomery had last year?
I'm gonna
Real quick.
say he had around 6 last year, but because he was also hurt for a few games last year, right? Yeah,
He had 7 last
he had
year.
7,
Is
so
that
that's pretty close.
Raji?
So
Raji? Yep,
yeah.
he had 7. Yeah,
So you said how many?
he didn't have any receiving touchdowns. He had 7 rushing touchdowns.
Are you talking total or just rushing?
Yeah, no, I'm just talking rushing because he
Okay.
didn't catch a pass for a touchdown last year.
Yeah. So how
Or in
many
previous
how
years,
many
yeah,
did
he
you
had
say he's gonna have?
7 total. So that's why I said over under 7 total for this upcoming year.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over on that. I think that he's gonna have a good year. I think he and Fields are gonna work well together. The only thing is if this Ebner guy's good, and we already saw a lot of production of Khalil Herbert last year. Most of those were when Montgomery was actually hurt, but I think those 3 guys could be a good running back core. But I hope they give it to Montgomery in the red zone and he just pounds his way in. You know, with our former coach, he did not really like to give Montgomery the ball enough, as has been
Wait, who's
stated.
a former coach? I don't know who
Oh, actually, he coaches for the Chiefs again. He's like
he
offensive
does.
quality control coach or something. Maybe he's like a janitor for the Chiefs. I don't know.
Well, he's probably has something to do with equipment, selling shoes or putting shoes on the players.
Definitely.
How about Darnell Mooney, 1,000 yards over and under?
Yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah,
17 games. He was
I need
close. I think he was close
something.
last year, and maybe I'm off, but
Okay.
he should get to 1,000. If he doesn't get to 1,000, we know we're not gonna have a good year. I mean, some of these
I agree.
things, like even bad teams reach these statistics.
Correct. Correct. All right. How about last one I have here? Well, I have two. Last one I have Cole Kmet over or under 3 touchdowns.
Man,
Hmm.
he didn't have any last year.
He did not.
Um, I don't know if did he have any his rookie year. I feel like I should look into this more. He's gonna have. I'm gonna say he's gonna have more than three, and if he doesn't, then honestly, we know
He
he
had
is.
two. He had two his rookie year.
Oh, he did. So if he doesn't have any this year, then he needs to find a different team. Honestly, like what's the point
You
of
know what?
having him?
Now that I'm looking at these stats, though, Scott, on Cole Kmet, first year, 28 catches, 243 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So what I do like, and it just hit me now, is that he caught 60 catches
Yeah,
last year.
I
Do you
did
know
see
that? I mean,
that.
60 snags. I mean, that's I mean, no, is he Travis Kelsey? No, is he Zach Ertz? No, but I mean, 60 catches for 600 yards just didn't touch Pater, and quite frankly, I think a lot of it again was the red zone play design. I just don't think that we utilize him in the red zone maybe as much as others. You saw Jasper Horsted catch touchdowns. You saw Jimmy Graham raise
Yep.
from the grave and catch a touchdown or two late.
Hmm.
So um,
I agree.
60 catches is something. I think that's a little bit. I think I think it's a step in the right direction. I think
Yeah,
Bears fans should be encouraged by that, and and the fact that at least he played enough games to catch 60 passes, so
yeah,
you can start to hopefully stack some of that injury stuff away and kind of move past it. So
absolutely.
last one, yeah, sorry, last one I have is, and it's not over under. It's gonna be either a Bears or Chiefs answer. Who will have the better defense by the end of the year, Bears or the Chiefs?
Well, if Raquan Smith does not play for the Chicago Bears this year, then that's a major factor in this question. The
It
Chiefs
is.
actually finished not too bad, if I remember right. Like surprisingly good for them because they're usually towards the end of it. I think what we should still have a better defense. Why? First, I'm confident that Raquan is going to get a deal because I think he does want to be in Chicago. Secondly, because Brisker and Gordon, I think, are going to come in and really solidify that secondary, and we're going to see what that looks like tomorrow. And there's still enough pieces. Plus, we have a really good defensive coach, so I think those factors should really allow us to have a better overall defense. But I mean, the Chiefs are adding some good pieces to their defense, and I think they're definitely going to be better. But again, look at it like this: they have to play in the AFC West, so they have to play all those teams, and that's a total of 6 games. That's going to add up a lot of stats, and because it's stat based and not just like, oh, this is a better team. That could factor into that. I mean, we got to play Rodgers, but after that, I mean, maybe Kirk Cousins does a few things here and there, and Jared
Not
Goff,
there.
but we don't fear them, even if we end up being um, in the basement this year.
Kirk could have a knife in his hands, and I'd give him a hug. So let me just put it.
Uh,
Anyways, yeah. So that's all I had for
good
the over
stuff.
under.
Yeah,
Thanks for playing, Scotty.
I like it.
And since this is on record, we will hold you to it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially, um, you know, we're gonna know pretty quickly. Like if we come out against the 49ers with a tough defense, tomorrow we might learn a little bit. But again, it's preseason. But week one we out against the Niners and Bosa and that whole crew. That's a pretty solid defense. If we can't do anything against them, then we're gonna know our offense isn't any good. And if Trey Lance just torches us, then it's gonna be a long year. So anyway, all right. Well, that will do it for this edition of Turn Up, Bear Down. You got any final things to say on your way out?
I don't. I don't.
Some
I
words of wisdom for the people.
am. Yeah, no, other than I'd rather the quarterback swap. No, I mean, I mean, can you imagine if Trubisky was a Chief? Can you
Dang.
imagine how much? Yeah, you know how much grief I've gotten from Chiefs fans for Trubisky. I mean,
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous. So
exactly. That's why I don't like the Chiefs.
they better protect old ketchup boy because we know of all franchises that if your number one goes down, good luck, man.
Yep.
Good luck. So
Yep.
I do think the Chiefs a lot. I think a lot of people are writing the Chiefs off, and because they lost Tyreek and this or that, but I still think the Chiefs have, if not the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks. It's always a debatable topic, but
Yeah,
anytime Pat laces them up, you got a chance to win.
for sure.
And not every franchise can say that. So they're very lucky to have him, and it's going to be fun to watch them from afar this year because that offense is pure entertainment, right? I mean, it's lightning
Yeah.
in a bottle. So
Yeah, it always is. It's what we don't have.
it's exactly what we
For
don't
the
have, and
longest time, though,
we've never had. So
it's what we've never had in our entire years of fandom, and but they rarely have had a defense as good as any of ours. So it's kind of been a flip flop. But unfortunately, that hasn't led us to as great of success. We've had a little success, but not in the last 25 years. I mean, we played in the Super Bowl.
hey,
Anyway,
Bears Chiefs Super Bowl, Scott. Before we go, Bears Chiefs
this
Super Bowl.
year, no way. No way. So, all right, that will do it for this edition of Turn Up Bear Down. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the football game tomorrow.